Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody here in the building, man. I appreciate you guys. As always, you could be anywhere in the world, but you chose to be right here with me. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to everybody here already in the chat. I see 89 Raider. My brother Hammer's in the building. Mike Downs. Shellfish, what's good, King? I see Marcos, AP209, John Raider with that content. Salute, man. Salute to Brave. I see you, King. Salute to Ant Hernandez, man. Everybody already here in the building. Salute, salute, salute. One more day until Raiders football. We are sitting at 2-3, coming off of a big victory against the Green Bay Packers Monday night, trying to even it out, trying to get back to 500, 3-3, facing I don't want to say a formidable opponent because they've been struggling all season long, but a very familiar opponent. And we're going to talk about that. Teacher versus student. We know the student last year, got the dub in a weird, most just odd fashion in the world. Our new wide receiver throwing our former defensive end a winning touchdown, winning interception to win that game. So this is one of the ones, you guys, and New England is hurting right now. I don't know if you guys know or looking at the injury report right now. I think they have like 10 people questionable. They have a slew of people that have already been ruled out. This should be an easy win, but there's never such thing as a Raider fan, right? There's never an easy win as the Raiders, but I'm saying this should be a convincing win because at this point, we need that right now. Devontae even said it in the presser. He was speaking about we need that convincing win. I'm tired of just squeaking them out. Yeah, a win is a win. And look, I'm going to take any win you can, any way you can get a win, you take it, right? But at the end of the day, this needs to be that convincing victory. Mac Jones has struggled mightily. They're even talking about getting the rookie Malik Cunningham involved somehow, some way, at some capacity. I don't know if they're going to use him at running back, wide receiver, quarterback. I don't know, but it looks as though they've been kind of vamping him up in practice as well, trying to see if they can get Malik Cunningham somehow, some way involved in the offense. But they have a slew of injuries. Juju's out. The list is insane, and we'll talk about it right now. 7 players ruled out for the Patriots. Starting left guard, Cole Strange. He'll miss his 4th straight game for the New England Patriots. Offensive lineman Tyrone Wheatley Jr., which we're very familiar with, and Riley Reef, both of whom are dealing with knee injuries, also will not play. So they have no depth on that O-line right now. I'm expecting Max Crosby to have potentially a career game. Maybe Malcolm Kuntz or Tyree can get on the board in terms of the sack department, right? Because this O-line is beat to shit, especially at the guard position. They're also going to be missing Demario Douglas. And we talked about Juju. They both did not practice due to concussions. This is big for them. Their passing attack is once again taking a major blow. We all know Matthew Judon dealing with the elbow injury. I have no idea why he's still popping up on the injury report. I assume he was out for the year. But their defensive back, Cody Davis, is also out and questionable. This is something to keep an eye on right here, you guys. Kyle Duggar, Safety, maybe missing today's game. Tomorrow's game. Defensive tackle, Christian Barmore. Keep an eye on him. Former Alabama product. That'd be big if that defense is missing out on Christian Barmore. That'll kind of ease the blow in the run game for us. Cornerback Jonathan Jones, ankle. Right guard Michael Anu, I believe, and linebacker Josh Uche, I believe, dealing with a knee injury. So there you have it, you guys. Out right now, Cody Davis, Demario Douglas, Matthew Judon, Riley Reif, Juju, Cole Strange, Tyrone Wheatley Jr. There's no doubtful players for the Patriots, but questionable Christian Barmore. Keep an eye on Trent Brown as well, dealing with a chest injury. He was limited in practice all week long. Trey Flowers was limited in practice as well. They have a slew of guys. Tyquan Thornton, the speedster out of Baylor, he was limited in practice all week long. And also Sean Wade, the corner. For us, Nate Hobbs will miss his third straight game. This is terrible, you guys. I'm going to be real with you at this point. I'm really questioning what we're doing with Nate Hobbs moving forward. This is not me saying that I don't love Nate Hobbs. I love his game. He is a dog, but I said this a few lives ago and people thought I was tripping. Durability is becoming a major factor with Nate Hobbs. This is 3 straight games. I believe last year he missed 6 games, right? I believe 6 games. The year prior, I think he missed 1 game. Durability is definitely becoming a problem right now for Nate Hobbs. And Jacorian Bennett is also questionable with the hamstring and shoulder issue. I'm hoping Jacorian plays, but it looks as though Tyler Hall, the GOAT, will be out there starting in the slot for us, which I love. I love his game. He can cover. He can do it all. I love Tyler Hall. I thought he would initially started for us anyways in the nickel. I thought Nate Hobbs would be playing on the perimeter, but hey, Tyler Hall will be out there. Love it, love it, love it. Raiders Till Death says, what's Nate Hobbs' injury? It's the ankle injury. I believe it's a mid-high ankle sprain, somewhere along that. And that's a lingering issue. You know what I'm saying? And especially for the type of game that Nate Hobbs plays, he's a very aggressive, corner. He comes down. He's kind of like a linebacker in a sense, downhill tackler. You know what I mean? He has to be right. It's kind of difficult to play through a mid-high ankle sprain with the kind of game that he plays. So Nate Hobbs is definitely a player that we need to monitor moving forward because he's missing a shit ton of football. Salute to my brother Jonathan, man. Salute. Yeah, man, I had to go straight Oakland today, you guys. Straight Oakland. You already know, man. Graham, and this is not me saying that we need to move on from Nate Hobbs. I just know that, his rookie deal was going to be coming up soon. And with the durability being an issue, look, there may be teams looking at him out there in free agency, but I think that at some point, because of the durability, and he's not been great in coverage, Graham. Let's not act as though Nate Hobbs has been this spectacular corner in coverage. Maybe we can bring him back at a hometown discount because of the durability issues. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying move on from Nate. I'm just saying at some point we got to kind of bring down our expectations because we all assumed maybe last year or this year he would make that jump and transition into a star. And it just hasn't happened yet. Salute to my dog, Big Al. Forget scoring 20 points. I believe the Raiders should try to score 30 plus. Talk that shit, Big Al. And I know Jay, who was it? Maurice Jones-Drew has a scoring 30. I love it. This is the weekend that we should be able to somehow, some way turn this struggling offense into this high-powered offense that we thought it would be, coming into the 2023 season. New England is definitely dealing with a lot of injuries. And let's just keep it real right now, man. I think that, Bill Belichick and these guys, I think they realize at this point, Mac Jones isn't the guy, right? And they're kind of throwing the towel in to a certain degree. You know what I'm saying? Like all their success prior came from Tom Brady being their quarterback. They got Mac Jones as a high draft pick in the first round a few years back. It hasn't panned out, hasn't worked out. That's not the guy in New England. And I think at this point, Bill Belichick knows how much the quarterback position means in the NFL. And at this point, I think they're just throwing in the towel. I do. I would never say, Bill Belichick is going to tank. But, I mean, realistically, these guys have cheated in the past. They've done it all, right? So, I mean, why wouldn't they? They have no quarterback on this roster right now that's going to get it done for them in the future. They've already pretty much shown that Bailey Zappi is not their guy. Malik Cunningham is a rookie. I don't think that he fits the, kind of the role of what Bill Belichick wants as a quarterback. Mac Jones clearly is not the guy. You know what I mean? And they have another guy over there right now, though, man, that to keep an eye on. That if Mac Jones struggles tomorrow, there's a guy out there, and I want to see if you guys know exactly who I'm talking about. A guy that completely smoked our boots in preseason. Okay, played for the Dallas Cowboys, ended up getting a job, as a backup in New England, West Virginia product. Okay, he may get a look tomorrow if Mac Jones gets benched 3 weeks in a row, which I can see it happening if they struggle again on the offensive side of the ball. Do not be shocked if Will Grier is the quarterback out there for the New England Patriots moving forward. I know they're trying to throw this out there that Malik Cunningham may get some reps and so on and so forth. He's more of a playmaker, more of an a X factor kind of quarterback. I wouldn't be shocked if they brought out Will Grier to try and run that offense. Q, there you go. And there you go. Will Grier, factory. Let me see. You got to figure out where I'm watching this game. Lumpy, I will be doing the watch party tomorrow with Hammer. So if you guys have nowhere to watch the game, tune in to me and Hammer. We'll definitely be covering the entire game. And just enjoy it with us, our brother. Salute the Lumpy. Willie Dilly, high stakes Grier. Salute the rule, my dog. The wasted equinox. Mac Jones needs a new scenery. He can't be worse than ATL or Washington's quarterback. I'm going to be honest with you. I would take Sam Howell over Mac Jones 10 times out of 10. I don't think that Josh McDaniels would, but I like Sam Howell. I watched him ever since North Carolina. I'm not a big Desmond Ridder fan. I don't think that he's clearly not the guy to get it done in Atlanta. Keep an eye on Justin Fields in Atlanta, you guys. If Chicago can continue to shit the bed and they're completely in on the whole Caleb Williams, tank fest, keep an eye on potentially Justin Fields going to Atlanta, taking Desmond Ridder's spot and being that future guy out there in Atlanta. But me personally, I would take Sam Howell over Mac Jones. Wouldn't take Ridder, but I definitely would take Sam Howell over him. And yes, man, I do. I believe that we're out there looking at it right now, and numerous beat writers and other guys. Salute to Hondo. He's spoken about it. We are definitely in the market right now for some D-line help. Defensive end is kind of right. It's a situation where we are looking at upgrading, but do not be shocked, you guys, when they say defensive end or edge rusher, that they're looking at potential help in the interior defensive line. Okay, so everyone's saying, Danielle Hunter, Brian Burns, Montez Sweat, Chase Young. I think that they're just meaning defensive line as a whole. You know what I mean? Like, I can run with Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree Wilson as a rotational duo on one side opposite of Max Crosby if you go out and get a stout defensive tackle. I'm cool with that. More of a need is a defensive tackle position. Tillery's not getting it done. There's no pressure from him. Bilal Nichols has been just a downer since he came over from Chicago. John Jenkins is up there in age, and you can't expect a lot out of him. Adam Butler, you know what I mean? Like, we're just not seeing a lot from the defensive tackle position. So it's easy to look at defensive end. Yeah, we're probably looking at some D end help, but I'm not expecting to go out and get the likes of a Chase Young or a Danielle Hunter. I would love it, but they need to look at the defensive tackle position. And I don't know who is out there at this point that you can bring in at the defensive tackle position. Free agency, there's no one. I'm gonna be honest, it's slim pickings. You could be reaching out to Philadelphia. They're wealthy as hell, on that defensive line from the defensive tackle position. Maybe we can talk to them about bringing in one of those guys. I don't know, but we definitely need a defensive tackle. So let me see. Graham said, my bad. I thought I was texting one of my BMs and I put it on here. I am dying right now. Salute to my brother Graham Cam, man. Salute to my dog Cheese, riding in the lift in Vegas with a Pats fan. Fuck my life. Salute to Cheese, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button, man. The Jukester says, get Burns and then just draft a defensive tackle. It's not that easy, Jukester. It's really not. Brian Burns is a major part of that Carolina defense. And, you know, they're 0-5 right now. So, you know, they're still trying to reset, get things rolling out there, right? Brian Burns is a pivotal part of that defense. And from what I heard, the rumors and rumblings was they turned down 2 first-round picks last year for the likes of Brian Burns. If that's true, there's no way in hell I see them moving on from Brian Burns. They could use some O-line help. You know what I mean? Bryce Young does not have any time to get rid of the football. They can definitely use some O-line. It's kind of like the New York Giants effect where Daniel Jones has no time to get rid of the football. So maybe they are willing to move on from some defensive line guys in order to prioritize the O-line to help keep Bryce upright, right? Maybe, but I just don't see them moving on at all from Brian Burns. Derek Brown, potentially defensive tackle, former Auburn product. I can definitely see, them taking a look at him. And shout out to Robert, my brother. He mentioned that the other day on the show. Definitely. But Brian Burns, and I've seen some interesting trade talks with him. Shout out to Mitch. You know what? I'm gonna throw a few of these out there, man. Shout out to my dog Mitch. He was on Instagram, and a few of these potential trade. Let me mention this, and I don't think that some of these are realistic. I'm gonna be honest with you, but we shall see. Okay, Vikings trade us Daniil Hunter for a 2nd-round pick. Very realistic. I can definitely see that. Shout out to Mitchell Renz 365 on Instagram and Raiders.fbl on IG. Carolina trades Brian Burns to the Raiders for 2 2nd-round picks, a 2024 and a 2025, and Hunter Renfrow. I don't think this is realistic. I would definitely do it. I would part ways with 2 seconds and a Hunter Renfrow for Brian Burns. That would be phenomenal. You still got to pay Brian Burns, but in the future, we'll probably be paying a rookie quarterback, right? So I'm cool with that, but Carolina's not going to do it. I just don't see that happening. I think that they're going to keep Brian Burns around. He'll be the Bryce Young of that defense. Bryce is untradeable for Carolina. I think Brian Burns is the guy on that defensive side of the ball that they're going to keep to build around. Jets, we go get Carl Lawson. He's been a healthy scratch. The Jets have a deep defensive line, so I can definitely see us going out and getting the veteran Carl Lawson. The Jets received Greg Van Roten, our starting right guard, which I am all for, and a 6th-round pick in 2024. I would definitely make that move. Definitely. I don't think the Jets do. Thank you, Bill. Well, you know what? Carl Lawson has lost favor out there on that defensive line. Maybe they do move on for a Greg Van Roten and a 6th-round pick. Maybe they do. I definitely would take that right now. Another mock draft or mock trade. This one's interesting. The Commanders received Malcolm Kuntz in a 2024 2nd-round pick for Montez Sweat. Now, Kuntz's rookie contract is coming up soon. Montez Sweat is a dog. I think he has somewhere along the lines, and don't quote me on this, 4.5 sacks this season. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that, though. But and a 2nd-round pick in Malcolm Kuntz, that's interesting. That is interesting. But do I think it's realistic? No, I don't. The Commanders have a lot more needs than just swapping Montez Sweat for another defensive end. That defensive line is pretty deep out there with the Commander. I think they need help in other places. I don't think they take a Malcolm Kuntz. That 2nd-round pick, though, maybe. Salute to my dog Cheese once again. If we do trade Renfrow, I hope we wait till the last possible moment instead of blowing our load on the first offer from a team wanting to offload a bum. I mean, bro, at this point, Cheese, where is Renfrow's trade value at? There's no trade value. He has like 4 or 5 receptions on a season or something like that. Like, you know what I mean? We have not been able to get him going in this offense. You're paying him $13 million, I believe, this season. And I think he still has 2 more years on his contract. I don't really, at this point, you got to move on. You got all kind of other players. You just drafted Trey Tucker, a 3rd-round guy to Cincinnati. That's a slot guy. You know what I mean? You got DeAndre Carter. You know what I mean? You got Jacoby Myers, another guy that can kick inside and kick out. He predominantly played in the slot in New England. I mean, it's just at this point, what are we holding on to Renfrow for? I don't think you're going to get Renfrow. I don't think you're going to get a lot for Renfrow. I'm going to be real with you guys. I don't think you get a lot for Renfrow because of the contract and the production this year. And then he was injured last year. You know what I mean? Like, what are you selling to other teams? Hey, look at 2021 Hunter Renfrow, Pro Bowl guy. Well, let's just keep it a buck. Someone had to step up. You know what I mean? We lost, Ruggs. We really didn't have a starting, like a real starting caliber, wide receiver. Like, somebody had to step up, and it was Renfrow. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zay Jones as well. But what's your selling point? What's your selling point with Hunter Renfrow? Are you selling them 2021? I don't know. It's kind of nasty work at this point, with Hunter Renfrow. Salute to my dog Cheese. Salute to my brother Rob. Illuminor to guard, Mumford at right tackle, trade for Big Cat. Everything changes. Also, if possible, get Danielle Hunter. Yeah, you're not going to be able to get Danielle and Big Cat. You know what I mean? That would make this defensive line stout. Like, at that point, bro, if you go get a Big Cat, Leonard Williams, and you can afford to pay him and Danielle Hunter, and I think next year, you guys, we have roughly $65 million. Dog, that would be phenomenal. But I don't see that happening. Realistically, you go out and get a Big Cat and you keep it pushing. You insert him into that defensive line, and then we're cooking. We're cooking with gas at that point. But I'm good with moving Illuminor to guard and keeping Mumford at right tackle. And I was reading an interesting article earlier, you guys, about Thayer Mumford. Salute to Raiders Today, Fan Nation. Raiders' investment in Thayer Mumford is paying off. Thayer Mumford has been a serviceable addition to the Las Vegas Raiders offensive line. He looks to continue his growth in his role in his 2nd season. Salute to Ezekiel Trezvant. He just put this out about an hour ago. Las Vegas Raiders coach Josh McDaniels made it a point to have as many players who could play multiple positions as possible on the roster heading into this season. That was especially the case on the offensive and defensive lines. 2nd-year offensive tackle Thayer Mumford was one of the young offensive linemen Las Vegas coaching staff knew would have to have an important role on the offensive line this season. He played a lot of tackle the other day. McDaniel said he's really a bright young man, tough, durable, has learned multiple roles because we played him at tight end some and at tackle, obviously, and does whatever he's asked. Studies, knows his assignments, and is working on his technique like all the younger guys are. So for those who have no idea what he's talking about, we put him in those jumbo packages. You know what I mean? Kind of had him lined up at tight end. He has played some right tackle. You know, when Illuminor, I believe Illuminor was dealing with an injury last week, and we seen our young pup out of Ohio State, 7th rounder, play a little right tackle. But there's an element of youthful exuberance, energy with Thayer that you really enjoy being around. You can feel it on the field too. He does that during the course of the game. He wants to play. He wants to be physical, all the rest of that. So, salute to Raiders Today, Fan Nation. They're speaking highly of Mumford. Not really caring who I go against, Mumford told Sports Illustrated. If I spend time worrying about who I'm going against, I'm going to be off my game. I brought more energy. That was a big thing, bringing more energy to the team, bringing energy to other players that I know could be better. I like it a lot playing tight end, but at the same time, I want to do it what is best for the team, especially from the tackle position to tight end. I'm going to work to be a better tackle and a better teammate for my team. They also stated that Mumford shared the offensive line's mindset heading into Sunday's game against the New England Patriots. Our mindset is have the same energy that we did the last game, but more, and to score a lot more too, because we have not done that. It will be a close game that we don't want. We all know they're a good team and well coached. Speaking about the New England Patriots, we have all types of respect for them. But all we do have to be is ourselves. Our mindset is basically, let's go out there and win these games. So there you have it, man. That is our guy, Thayer Munford, speaking about tomorrow, playing a little tight end, playing a little tackle. I'm excited about Munford, man. I said this from day one, you guys, when we got him in the 7th round out of Ohio State, that was going to be our future right tackle. And I think the writing was on the wall when they decided on bringing Illuminor back for just 1 year after having a pretty big year for us last year. Outside of the boneheaded penalties, the false starts, Illuminor had a pretty good year for us last year. But I think he only took like a $2.5–3.5 million deal this year to start at right tackle, somewhere along that. And this was a prove it year for Illuminor. And at this point, early on, first few games, he looked pretty good. These past few weeks, Illuminor has really been, humbled a lot. So I'm looking forward to seeing Munford get more reps out there. Joe says Thayer Munford did look strong on Monday night. Facts, Joe. Facts. Let me see. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, hit that subscribe button. Junkie, I'm going to be real with you. Frank Clark was just released, so you don't have to trade for him. Denver let him go. And from what I'm hearing right now is he will be going back to the Kansas City Chiefs. So the rich keep getting richer. The rich keep getting richer. From the likes of it, it looks as though Frank Clark will be going back home to the Kansas City Chiefs. That's what the early talk is with Frank Clark. So I don't know. And I've seen a few players actively, kind of trying to recruit him back to Kansas City, his former guys. So we shall see. Salute to E-Weezy, you Beezy. Love the content, bro. Keep it up. Salute to you, King. Salute to Raider OGP. Bro, the mistakes we made on players to trade. We messed up with Carr. Got nothing for him. Now, Renfro, we don't even know. We don't even show he's got value. Josh McDaniels kills me, man. Yeah, it really did hurt to move on from Carr and get nothing for him. And, with right now, with Renfro's trade value so low, I truly do not know. They paid him. That's the thing, you guys. Like, the league knows that Hunter Renfro is a good football player, right? They know he can be a top tier slot guy at the receiver position, but you also got to remember that Z gave him that extension. Does any team want to part ways with a really good draft pick to go pay a slot guy $13 million a season? I don't know. Salute to Raider OG, man. My dog. LT, what's good with you, Oos? Let me see. There you go, Brave. I like that. When Munford came in, the next play, Josh Jacobs ran that 24-yard run. Talk that shit. Talk that shit, brother. Rube, this is the thing. That defense at this point is like historically bad. And Denver's been known to have a great defense. Vance Joseph is literally shit the bed out there as the defensive coordinator in Denver. He has nothing around him. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, Patrick Surtain is definitely going to look average this year because his defense is just completely bad. Justin Simmons has, had a few highlights this season at the safety spot for them, but they've struggled mightily all across the board on the defensive side of the ball. Now they moved on from Frank Clark. They moved on from Randy Gregory. I wouldn't be shocked if they moved on from a lot more other pieces and Sean Payton just goes into complete rebuild mode and starts looking at one of those quarterbacks next season. But one guy they're not going to get rid of is Patrick Surtain, Rube. They're not. They're not going to move on from Surtain. He is an absolute stud, absolute superstar at the corner position. And it's very tough to be a guy like him that is a dog that plays, at a high level and is also used to winning so many football games, even at the collegiate level. Last year they struggled. They only won five games, I think, in Denver, right? But, he sees what's going on out there right now. It's very tough to unlock all that potential that you have at the cornerback position when everybody else around you is playing like dog shit. But from what I'm hearing and from what I'm seeing, Patrick Surtain is the one guy that is untouchable out there in Denver. So, yeah, they'll move on from, a bunch of other guys. They'll keep some of those younger guys also on the defense and offensive side of the ball, but they're not moving on from Patrick Surtain at all. They wouldn't even move on for a first rounder, unless that helps them move up to get their quarterback of the future. Let's just say they're at 5 and they want to move up to get Caleb Williams, and they want to give them their first-round draft pick, another first-round draft pick, and Patrick Surtain, maybe they can dangle him to move up to go get their quarterback of the future, but I don't see them moving on from Patrick Surtain, especially before the deadline. The deadline is October 31st, you guys, so that's literally right around the corner. You know what I mean? About, what, 2 weeks from now? So I don't see them moving on from Patrick Surtain. That is, to me, a generational talent at the cornerback position. I don't see it. We talked about this a little earlier too, you guys, about Malik Cunningham, right? We all know Mac Jones has struggled a lot this year. He's been benched a few times. Has not been able to move the ball on the offensive side of the ball. Well, reportedly, it's shout out to Dakota Randall. He put it out there, and Jeff Howe, also of The Athletic, has stated that this week the New England Patriots made the rookie quarterback / receiver a part of his game plan. So I do believe that New England's kind of throwing in the towel. They don't really have the talent on both sides of the football to really be, a good football team this year. But this week means a lot to New England. This is Josh McDaniels. This is Carmen Bracillo. This is Ziegler. This is Patrick Graham. This is a bunch of guys that are very, very familiar, with what New England does, with Bill Belichick, right? I think that this game would be the one game that New England would come out and fight for. Like, real talk. Like, I don't think that Bill Belichick can. It was a tough pill to swallow, taking that L to us last year the way they did, with Jacoby throwing that pick, to Chandler Jones to win the football game in overtime, right? I do believe that Bill Belichick still wants to win this football game. And I don't know how they're going to implement the young guy, Malik Cunningham. He was undrafted this year, for those who doesn't know, Louisville product. I don't know where they're going to use him. They can use him as a kick returner. They can use him as a receiver. They could potentially use him as the guy to come in to take over from Mac Jones if he shits the bed. But he's an athletic guy. He's an athletic guy. And I'm going to be honest, Josh and them better be ready on the defensive side of the ball, because this is a guy that is a playmaker. Go back and watch his tape at Louisville. This can be an X factor for them. You know what I'm saying? I'm not acting as though Malik Cunningham is this, big time deal, but he is somebody that is a sneaky talent that they can help use, kind of shake up some things and get our defense off balance. Josh McDaniels has the game plan for the likes of a Malik Cunningham, because Juju's out, because Douglas is out, Demario Douglas, the young Liberty pup that they brought over. Thornton may not play. You have to game plan for a guy like Malik Cunningham. They can get him a few reps at quarterback. They can have him play outside. They can move him around a little bit. We have to make sure that we are ready for the likes of Malik Cunningham, because the talk right now is, you guys online, that they've been using him in practice all week long. And I don't know if this is, just something that Bill Belichick and these guys are throwing into the universe to try and throw us off of our game plan. But we definitely have to keep an eye on Malik Cunningham going into this week. And who's to say he may not even play? You know what I'm saying? But this may be Bill Belichick trying to throw us off of our game. Salute to my dog, John, man. Sup, Graphk, and the chat. Back from a week in Vegas. Swear that place just sucks the life and money out of people. Facts. And now you see why I am at home on this weekend, brother. I was supposed to be out there this weekend. I am at home, sir. Missed y'all faces. We whooping these Pats, ? We scoring more than 18. Swear I need 3 days of sleep. That's how I felt every time I get home from Vegas. I do believe we get this dub. I do believe that we put up north of 20 points this week. I think this is the week the offense figures it out, playing against this reeling New England offense. But defense. But who's to say? Knowing our Raiders will probably go out there and put 13 up and beat them 13-10. I don't know. I'm just hoping that the defense continues to trend upwards, and I just hope that somehow, some way, we can get this run game going. New England is surprisingly pretty good against the run, but they can't stop the pass, and they've been struggling, at the corner position all year long. They even went out and traded back for J.C. Jackson. They struggled though, and this should be a game where Jimmy G can kind of break, break this spell that he's been in these past few weeks and get back to what he did against Buffalo. I mean, not Buffalo, but Denver week 1, two tutties, 200 yards in the air. somewhere along the lines. I think that this should be the week that we figure it out. Salute to my dog, John, man. I hope you had a good time out there, brother. Vegas would definitely beat your ass financially. I'm telling you that now. Salute, man. Wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you are not subscribed to the channel yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Salute to my dog OG once again. PS2 is a dog, just like LV. I don't care what corner you got. No pass rush will make you look average, which is why we need DT and DE help bad. Salute to Graphk. Yeah, he's definitely a dog, brother. Definitely a dog. Salute to my dog OGP, man, on $5 donation. And we definitely need some extra help at the DT position. You know what I mean? Because Bilal Nichols and Tillery and Adam Butler and John Jenkins ain't it. It's not it. You know what I mean? And what are we doing with Matthew Butler, you guys? The young pup that we got a year ago out of Tennessee. Like, what are we doing with him? Are we going to bring him out the practice squad at some point and see what the young kid can do? What are we doing with Nesta Jade? He looked really good against the Chargers, and then next thing you know, he's back inactive. I don't know, man. Salute to OG. We need a statement win, period. Once again, my dog OG. I agree, bro. I agree, bro. Salute to Kung Lao, Morning King. But I agree. This is the weekend where you have to go out there and get a convincing win. Salute to my dog Q. As always, we should look at Derek Barnett and Milton Williams. So for those who have no idea, a defensive tackle from Philly and a DE from Philly. The Eagles, a sneaky, possibly Bryce Huff from the Jets, a defensive end over there. And see about Dolphins defensive tackle, Raekwon Davis. I thought, hold on real quick. Let's see something real quick because I'm looking like, okay, still 26 years old. Okay. Former Alabama product. That's an interesting name to look at, Q. That's an interesting name to look at. I've not heard Raekwon Davis being tied to the Raiders at all. Nose tackle out there in Miami. Okay. But definitely looking at Bryce Huff, young pup out there with the Jets, and Milton and Derek Barnett are definitely names to keep an eye on. I heard a lot about Derek Barnett. Me personally, I don't think that's a major move, for us. I'm going to be real. He's a veteran. Cool. I'd rather stick with Malcolm Kuntz and Tyree. I'm going to be real with you. Not that big of a fan of Derek Barnett at this point in his career, but Milton, definitely a name to keep an eye on, Q. Salute to my dog Marcus as well. Yo, what up, Graphk? How's it going? Watching Washington versus Oregon today because our next QB will be one of them after 8-9 season, but who's winning? Salute to my dog, man. I'm gonna take Oregon over Washington. I like Penix and I like Bo Nix. That's an interesting game. I'll definitely be watching that here soon as well. Salute to my dog Marcus. I like Penix more than Bo Nix, but those two surgeries scare me, Marcus. Bo Nix is a dog. You know what I mean? But Penix, to me, the athleticism, the talent that he possesses, it's just those injuries just scare the shit out of me, Marcus. But definitely two guys to keep an eye on with Bo Nix and Penix. Sad to think Caleb will be in the Broncos, and he may be. That shit is scary, bro. Kung Lao, I got you, King. Prayers, bro. Let me see. William, I don't think we get anything back from Chandler Jones at this point. I don't. I think we kind of shit the bed in terms of the way we put that contract together and spend a massive amount of money, on an older defensive end. I think at this point we're going to have to. That's a tough pill to swallow, but I don't know. Maybe the NFL will step in and say, "Yo, all that shit was conduct detrimental to the team." I don't know, but at this point we're going to have to. We're going to have to eat up that salary. Let me see. Yeah, the jukester, it's a little scary, man, to go out there and invest a high, high draft pick on a guy like Penix that, is dealt with those kind of injuries. That's tough, man. It's tough. Our luck, we would go get Penix. He would ball for us in the first few weeks, beat a guy, and then tear an ACL. God forbid. And I'm not putting that into the universe. I want Penix to have a long, successful career. But us Raider fans, we know how this shit goes. Go get an injured guy, he just miraculously ends up injured again. Let me see. He said, how old is Bo Nix? Doesn't he have grandchildren? You know what? I forgot how old he is. Let me see. Bo Nix. Bo Nix is he's 23 years old. He'll be 24 in February. Not too old. Not too old, man. Hey, real quick, you guys, I want to ask you this too. I wanted to put this on blast real fast. Salute to my brother, Big Mike. For those who have no idea, Big Mike is on vacation right now in the Philippines. Salute to my guy. That's why he's been kind of away from the content world right now. But I wanted to do this. I wanted to give our brother his flowers on this, okay? And I'm going to read this article from our website for those who have not checked it out yet, planetraiders.com. That is our website. You know, me, Wasted, and Big Mike. And salute to Skinner as well, another guy that writes some articles. Salute to our brother Kane Town, who put some articles up there here and there as well. The Raiders defense, how excited should we be? Coming off of that game, you know, against, you know, Jordan Love in the Green Bay Packers, three picks, you know what I mean? 2 from Spillane, 1 with a Meek to wrap the game up. You know, Max still doing Max things, you know, Tyree finally starting to, you know, you're starting to see the wheels kind of turning over there with Tyree Wilson, right? Malcolm Kuntz all over the place, still needs some help in the interior of that defensive line. But, you know, and one thing I got to say to you guys is, and I put this on Twitter a few days ago, why is no one giving Antonio Pierce his flowers? I repeat, why is no one giving Antonio Pierce his flowers? You know, Patrick Graham is getting all the kudos in the world. Being our defensive coordinator, understand. But Antonio Pierce has that linebacking core playing lights out right now. Divine Diablo's all over the place. Robert Spillane just became a turnover machine this past Monday night. Like, I think we have to give Antonio Pierce his flowers a little bit, right? Like, real talk. No one's talking about our linebacker coach that came over from Arizona State a year or two ago. This guy has had these guys playing like their hair is on fire. Give Antonio Pierce a little bit of love, you guys. I'm not hearing anybody in the media, any Raider content creators, no one really giving Antonio Pierce some love. Got to give him his love the way Robert Spillane and Divine Diablo are playing this year. But I want to ask you guys this. How excited should we be? These past few weeks, the defense has slowly been getting better. And we had kind of a coming out party Monday night against the Green Bay Packers. And now we're playing against one of the worst offenses in the league. I believe the New England Patriots average like 10.6 points per game. It's insane. This defense should once again have another big game. John, I believe we're a middle of the pack defense right now. 15, 16 rank. I think 15, 16, somewhere in that 15 to 17th rank. That's where our defense is. Should we be excited about this defense? And I'm going to read what our brother Big Mike has. It's amazing how one win cures all that plagues the Las Vegas Raiders, particularly regarding the overall performance of the defense on Monday night, where they had a solid performance against the Green Bay Packers. Edge rusher Max Crosby once again led the way in a 17-13 victory where he solidified his case as a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. He finished the game with 5 tackles, 4 tackles for loss, and 1 sack, earning himself AFC's Defensive of the Week honors. Linebackers Divine Diablo and Robert Spillane were also key contributors on Monday night, with Diablo leading the team in tackles with 10, Spillane snagging 2 of the 3 picks, changing the complexion of the game. Naturally, as a result of the Raiders' brilliant defensive performance on Monday, the likes of which hasn't been seen. My dog, man. Let me see. Seen in Raider Nation in years, the talks have begun surrounding whether or not the Raiders finally have the defense to compete in an offensive-dominated AFC. Now, as I've grown a reputation of being the official voice of optimism, I'm here this time to put a kibosh on Raider Nation's rising confidence in this defense. Pump the brakes on the Raiders' defensive hype. This is Big Mike speaking. Sure, the Raiders have recorded 2.5 solid defensive performances. Broncos, Packers, second half versus the Chargers, where they allowed only a combined 34 points. But when looking deeper into those numbers, it will bring you to a pause. In the Raiders' first 5 games, they've allowed an average of 129.4 yards a game, good for 23rd in the league. Moreover, the Raiders have given up 4.3 yards per rush attempt, which is tied for 20th in the league. Not anything to write home about. So we got to get our shit together in terms of the run, the run defense. To dig further into the defense, the Raiders sit at the bottom third in the league in takeaways with 4 and are one of the teams, Carolina Panthers, who have yet to record a fumble recovery. This does not sound like a defense who has finally turned the corner. In defense, the Raiders are currently giving up just 197.2 passing yards per game in 5 games, which sits at 11th in the league, but gives up 6.4 yards per pass attempt, which sits at the middle of the pack. Moreover, the Raiders give up 5.8 yards per pass attempt versus the Packers, which is excellent. The number with being excited about these numbers is that the Raiders have thrived and boosted their numbers against subpar quarterbacks. This is facts. Russell Wilson, Kenny Pickett, and Jordan Love. The Raiders also faced a depleted Chargers offense without running back Austin Eckler and wideout Mike Williams. Conversely, the Raiders defense was picked apart in all phases of offense against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills. If the Raiders defense wants to be taken seriously, they need to show up against the elite offenses in the league. Even if they generate a good outing against the Patriots and Bears, it will mean nothing if they don't deliver against the Lions, Chiefs, and Vikings later on this season. And it looks as though they'll be without Justin Jefferson potentially, and they may move on from Kirk Cousins before the trade deadline as well, you guys. Don't mistake it. I would add Miami to that mix. I would take the Vikings off and I would insert Miami into that list of teams. Don't mistake it. The Raiders have improved immensely from last season on defense, but with the lack of generated turnovers, the inability to slow the opponent's rushing attack, and not being able to get off the field on third down, it leaves a lot to be desired. Stay tuned. I'm not going to read the entire rest of this article. You guys want to go over to planetraiders.com and go check it out. A phenomenal article, some great statistics, and some great stuff from Big Mike. You guys go over to Planet Raiders and check that out. Salute the Raider Junkie, my brother, man. Appreciate you, King. If you guys want to become a member of the channel, hit the link. It's pinned up top. One of the best ways to support the channel. Salute to my dog, man. Joe Nation, is it crazy to say that we're better with Tyler Hall and Amik Robertson? Tyler Hall has been proven to be great in coverage for us, Joe. And Amik is a boomer bust talent, you know what I mean, that makes big plays, but also gives away big plays. But playmaker. It is interesting, right? It is interesting because the defense does look better with Jacorian Bennett out there starting opposite of Marcus Peters. It does look a little different, Joe. You're not lying, bro. Laney, and for everybody asking about the hat, I got it on Raider Image. I got it a while ago, though, so I do not know if they're still available. Go to RaiderImage.com. Shout out to Just Another DJ. Shout out to Big Mike on the article. Factory outlet, man. Salute to my dog, DJ. The Jukester, no. He's 35 years old. I don't know what he would look like in this system. I don't. I mean, don't get me wrong. I would rather have a Kirk Cousins than a Jimmy G. But to be honest, Raider Realist, this is the problem. You're just doing the same thing. It's kind of like this is a Derek Carr type quarterback. And that's no shade to DC. But him and Kirk Cousins are in that same, Kirk Cousins, Dak Prescott. It's like those are the same type of quarterbacks. Is Kirk better than Jimmy G? Of course. But this is a young quarterback-driven league. And why give up any draft capital to go get a Kirk Cousins on the last year of his deal? He'll be a free agent next year. Shout out to Kirk Cousins. He has finessed the NFL year after year, getting big money with the Commanders, big money with the Vikings, franchise tag. Salute to the GOAT of generating income and playing at a level. Real talk. But I'm it's an interesting thought But this isn't a year that we're just a quarterback away. The Jukester, like, I don't think going to get a Kirk Cousins is going to win us a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? We still need several pieces, and there's no reason to go trade any draft capital to go get a Kirk Cousins. It's just not. You know, maybe the Jets do. You know what I mean? They have a stout defense. They have the weapons on the offensive side of the ball with Aaron Rodgers being out for the season. Maybe they do. Maybe a team like the Tennessee Titans, you know, move on from Ryan Tannehill, and maybe they look at Kurt, even though they got two youngsters, you know, that they just drafted back-to-back years at the quarterback position. But I don't know. Me personally, no. I don't think that Zeke is willing to trade any draft capital for a 35-year-old quarterback. So, nah. But the fleece god, Kirk Cousins, will definitely find a way to fleece somebody else and get mad paper. And you know, this is what he does. My dog waits until I go live every time to go do some outlandish shit. Let me see. Sean, at this point, I have to agree. I mean, but the one thing that we have to look at also is, Sean, and I'm not saying that Mac Jones had a phenomenal statistic year, right? His rookie season, but Josh McDaniels got Mac Jones to a Pro Bowl in his rookie season. He got Mac Jones to a playoff appearance his rookie season. I know right now that Tom Brady is the only one that has won him championships, but Josh McDaniels' system is looked okay. Mac Jones, playoffs. You know, they even went 8-8, I believe, with a Cam Newton at the quarterback spot where he had to literally switch up his entire offense. So, but I agree with you though, bro. I agree with you. I mean, do we even call it the McDaniels system anymore? You just pretty much just call it the Tom Brady system. That's what has been his bread and butter in the league. That's why Josh McDaniels continues to find jobs. You know, whether it's an offensive coordinator or head coach of the Denver Broncos or head coach for the Raiders, the Tom Brady effect. Let me see. Salute to everybody here in the building, man. Appreciate you guys. OakLosVegas.com, man. Go get some gear. I put up a bunch of new merch up, you guys. Hoodies, jackets. Go get your issue at OakLosVegas.com. PlanetRaiders.com. Go check out Big Mike's new article. Wasted has some stuff over there. Franklin Skinner. Go support PlanetRaiders.com. And also, you guys, WoodsonWhiskey.com. Go grab a bottle of that goat whiskey and tell them I sent you, man. Salute to Gio. Salute, brother. We sure it's not Belichick's system? I mean, Gio, at this point, they're struggling too. Bill is struggling without Tom Brady. You know what I mean? So, look, I'm not even calling it Bill Belichick's system anymore. I'm not going to call it Josh McDaniels system. I am going to call it the Tom Brady system, because clearly that is the only guy that has been really, truly successful around these guys, Bill Belichick and Josh McDaniels. It is the Tom Brady system. John, I said this the other day, Bailey, on a show, right? I like Justin Fields. I think that he can be a superstar at the quarterback position. He can use his legs. He can make the throws, and he's proven that in the past few weeks with him and DJ Moore finally, creating that chemistry amongst each other, right? Justin Fields is a dog, but he doesn't fit what Josh McDaniels wants at the quarterback position. Me personally, I would take a flyer on a Justin Fields. Me, hell yeah. Like I think he's one of those guys, but Josh McDaniels won't. And I also said this a few lives ago about Justin Fields at one of his pressers before these past few weeks. He stated that, the offense was struggling because he was robotic, right? Robotic. And he wants to get back to what made his game, and that was using his legs, being able to improvise and make plays on the fly. Josh McDaniels doesn't want that. He doesn't want that. He doesn't want a guy that's going to go out there and make those plays and improvise. He wants a guy that's more robotic. So unless we move on from Josh McDaniels, I do not see us going out and getting to Justin Fields. I think he ends up in Atlanta, Bailey. I do. I think he ends up out there with all those young guys. There's a lot of weapons they have out there, man. London and, the young tight end out of Florida, which I was a big fan of coming out of college, but he just hasn't really panned out because they've had some bad quarterback play in Atlanta. I think that he ends up over there if the Chicago Bears go all in on Caleb Williams. Salute to my dog, John, man. I watched the Peyton and Eli broadcast. They flamed some calls, but also praised a few. They fired Jimmy's reads, and they were all over the missing run lanes. This is facts. It is fun, John, to watch the Manning brothers, because who knows that position better than those two guys? To watch them talk and break the game down, it truly is fun, man. As a football fan and not just a Raider fan, to watch those guys week in and week out be able to break down the game that they see right in front of them, it really is like a treat, man. Yeah, so salute to John. I was kind of going back and forth from their commentary to just the regular Monday Night Football, but so I didn't get a chance to really engage much with their full broadcast. I definitely should go double back though. Salute to John. Salute to Graham. Yeah, he's a damn fool, bro. Let me see. Bacteria says it's the O-line and Jimmy missing reads, and that's definitely a part of it. That's definitely a part of it. Bacteria, this is facts. A lot of people are beating up Josh McDaniels for everything, but he's the one that made this team. He's the one that got Carmen Bracillo. He's the one that went out and got Jimmy G. So it's easy to blame stuff on Jimmy G and blame stuff on Carmen Bracillo on the O-line, but Bacteria, at the end of the day, who's the one that assembled this team? Who's the one that went out and paid Jimmy G in free agency, gave him a 3-year deal? That's Josh McDaniels. Who decided on going to make Carmen Bracillo our offensive line coach, even though he looked good last year? Josh McDaniels. Who chose them, to go get Greg Van Roten and make him our starting right guard? I mean, that's probably Carmen Bracillo, but this is still Josh McDaniels' team. So at the end of the day, yeah, you can blame Jimmy G for sure. You can blame the offensive line for sure, but at the end of the day, it all boils down to this being Josh McDaniels' team and him making all of the decisions at the end of the day. And yes, Jimmy G is struggling to make his reads. Yes, the offensive line is struggling mightily in run blocking and now in pass pro, here and there. But at the end of the day, it all still falls on the shoulders of your head coach. Let me see. Salute to John. Definitely, bro. OG says, I watched the film on Jimmy. We got players running wide open and he's acting scary. This is facts. Facts. Them happy feet. OG, I seen it, man. I've seen it. Oakland fan, you can't fire Carmen. You can't, man. He had that O-line looking really good last year. They're struggling right now, right? They are struggling. But last year, remember, he was rotating guys in and out, trying to figure out what worked. And that O-line was a pleasant surprise for us last year. They have regressed, but you can't get rid of Carmen Bracillo right now, man. He had those guys fired up last season. You got to give him a little bit more time to figure out, what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, but me personally, losing the likes of McClendon Curtis, off your practice squad, that's big. That's big. Like Carmen Bracillo, like that has to fall on him. Like you need to tell those guys, Josh and them, that's my guy. You got to keep him around. Think about this. They kept Justin Herron. He's dealing with a concussion, I believe, right now as well. And I understand why they kept Herron, however you slice it. I get because he can technically be that backup left tackle. We don't have Brandon Parker anymore. So technically Herron would be our backup left tackle. But think about that. They kept Van Roten. They kept Justin Herron over the likes of McClendon Curtis. I don't understand that. Like, what you're getting with Herron or Herron at this point. You know what you're getting with Greg Van Roten. You know what I mean? Like, why not keep a young guy out of Chattanooga like McClendon Curtis? It trips me out. And Andre James has regressed this year as well. Let me see. Shout out to Junkie. Rogers on Pat McAfee's podcast said we are not using Devontae Wright. That even when he's double covered, he ain't covered. I mean, this is facts. Junkie, this is facts. But we have a slew of weapons. And don't get me wrong, you have to find Devontae. You know what I mean? And that was definitely that. I mean, You're probably not going to see too many 1-2 punches like Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. But let's just keep it a buck, Junkie. There's a far cry from Aaron Rodgers and Devontae to Jimmy and Devontae. There's a reason why the Niners moved on from Jimmy G. There's a reason why the New England Patriots moved on from Jimmy G. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not Aaron Rodgers. So it's easy for a guy like Aaron Rodgers to say, you got to feed Devontae more and more and more. Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Even Devontae said it. You got to find a way to get me the ball. You know what I'm saying? But this is what happens when you have a guy of the likes of Jimmy G at the head, as a QB1. This is what happens. This is what happens. There's a reason why he's not a star or a superstar. He's that glorified bridge guy. This is what happens. This is why I keep saying, you guys, put the kid out there. Play Aiden O'Connell for the rest of the year. Because then at least you can gauge where you need to go in terms of first round drafting next year. Let Aiden play out the season. Let him play out the season. Let's see what the young pup has. I guarantee he'll build that rapport with Devontae Adams. I guarantee he'll be throwing that ball up to Devontae more than Jimmy G is. I guarantee he'll stretch the field and find a lot more of these guys downfield than the likes of Jimmy G. You have to put the kid out there because at this point, what if he is our guy of the future? This is what the Raiders do, and this is the shit that irritates me. If you play Aiden O'Connell this year, right, then you know, okay, I might not have to get a quarterback in the first or second round. I can go get a guy in the middle rounds and develop him, and we can run with Aiden. This is the shit that kills me because now you play Jimmy G the rest of the season. You may go get a Drake May or one of these guys, and you have a guy like Aiden O'Connell that could potentially be still the future quarterback. Play the young guy. We know what Jimmy G does. This is not, bro. This is not the likes of him playing for the Niners and having one of the greatest defenses assembled. You know what I mean? This is not that team. It's not. I just don't understand how Josh, this is an ego thing. I went out and got Jimmy G. Well, also, guess what, Josh McDaniels? You also went out and got Aiden O'Connell in the 4th round. So they're both your guys. Push your ego to the side and say, look, Jimmy, we'll play you this week. We'll see what you got against New England. If you shit the bed against a reeling, bad New England team, Aiden O'Connell has to be the guy moving forward. I'm sorry. If Jimmy G does not find a way to go out there, you guys, and put up at least, and this is sad, at least 275 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns, preferably 300 yards and 3 touchdowns, I think you know what you're working with. You're playing against a bad Patriots team. If Jimmy G goes out there and just puts up Jimmy G numbers, 205 yards in the air, fucking 1 touchdown and a pick, you have to move on. You have to put Aiden O'Connell out there. You have to. Because then, once again, at least we see what we have. I can deal with the fumbles that Aiden O'Connell has out there. I can deal with that because at least I know we're seeing what the future holds with Aiden O'Connell. I'm not expecting to win the Super Bowl with Jimmy G at the quarterback spot anyway. So give Aiden O'Connell the football. Give him the football, and let's see what we can do with him. You know what I mean? Bacteria, facts. Oakland fan, facts. Yeah, I think, is it 8? I thought it was 7, Reese. I thought it was 7. But, hey, I mean, 7 might as well be 8. Yeah, Manny, and that's true. That's true. I mean, he looked like that glorified bridge guy against Denver week 1. What was he like? 20 for 26, 200 yards, two touchdowns, no picks. That's bridge quarterback numbers. That's bridge. Then you look at Buffalo, cooked. Look at Pittsburgh, fried. At this point, he's a basement starting quarterback. A bridge quarterback is the Denver Broncos version of Jimmy G. Simple and plain. That's the problem, Graphk. None of us expect to win a chip with Jimmy. So, yeah, exactly. So why not throw the young kid out there? You know what I mean? I put out there on Twitter the other day, man, salute to Brian Hoyer. And I have nothing against the human being, Brian Hoyer. I have nothing against the football player, Brian Hoyer. The Raiders put out there, happy birthday to Brian Hoyer. I said, you know what the perfect birthday gift would be for Brian Hoyer? To make him quarterback 3. Happy birthday, Brian Hoyer. You are now officially quarterback 3. Hold this clipboard for Aiden O'Connell. It makes no sense in the world to me at all. And this is why I look at Josh McDaniels as being incompetent at this point. To have Aiden O'Connell be your emergency quarterback. What? This would be a great week for Aiden O'Connell to go out there and play against a struggling New England Patriots team. That would put his confidence up here. And I get, this may be a week for Jimmy G to do the same thing. But we know that Jimmy's not going to be the guy moving forward. So at the end of the day, I just do not understand how you don't make Aiden O'Connell the guy. Yeah, man, that's facts, though. Shout out to Jimmy, my dog. That's facts. Everyone is struggling this year in our division. Yeah, man, Kansas City's offense look bad against that Denver defense. Facts. Our division is wide open. It is. It is. Who would have thought that Kansas City's defense would be carrying that team? Mahomes looked mad regular against that Denver defense. And realistically, he threw 2 picks. They called a bad call on Denver. Bad pass interference call. It would have been 2 picks. That offense is not moving like that. Who would have thought Kansas City's defense? And they built through the draft these past few years, going out and getting Bolton, at linebacker. I think is it Bolton? Yeah, I believe Bolton, right? Going out and getting, Leo Chanel and those type of guys. They built to the defense these past few years. That defense is definitely holding down the Kansas City Chiefs. Trent McDuffie at the cornerback spot, the guy they went and got out of Washington. You know what I mean? They did it the right way. They built through the draft on the defensive side of the ball. Let me see. But yeah, I mean, if you face that Kansas City team, you can definitely beat that team. If the offense can get going. Thank you, man. It's like my 5th cup of coffee. My heart gonna be like. Yeah, this is facts, Jimmy. Once again, what does defenses do, Jimmy? When you can't stretch the field, stack the box. That's another reason why Josh Jacobs has struggled in the run game. The O-line has not been able to get going in the run blocking, and yeah, they're just stacking the box up against Jimmy G. At least with Aiden, you can stretch the field a little bit. I'm taking coffee and convo to the extreme today, Jamal. There you go, Oakland fan. You're working on your 3rd cup. You don't make me feel, that bad anymore. Joe Nation, I agree. I know people are going to judge Aiden off the 3 fumbles or whatever. I know they're going to judge Aiden O'Connell off the 1 pick he threw in the red zone to pretty much wrap up that game. But, in which that was a terrible play call by Josh McDaniels. But I'm not going to judge him from that. Jers, you know what, bro? I promise. I'm going to put it up today. You got my word. I will put the content shirts up today. Everybody's been hitting me up about them. I've been wilding. I totally forgot about putting them up. And I have a bunch of new designs as well. Shout out to my brother Raider Post. I will put up that shirt today. The content shirts will be on OakLosVegas.com. Content. Salute to my brother Max. I think our one opportunity for AO4 to keep starting was versus the Chargers if he won. But he didn't. So back to the tablet playbook he goes. Salute to my dog, bro. Salute to my dog, Max. Salute to my brother Lillard. Unfortunately, they won't sit a $25 million quarterback until the final 2 games. Then we will see AOC 4. And that's what happens, right? Sit DC after the Pittsburgh game. Boom. You got Stiddy in there. They probably do the same thing again this year, Lillard. I wouldn't be shocked. Shout out to Joe. He said, my son took my mug. I gotta get a few more. Salute to your son, man. Shout out to my brother Joe. That content. Salute to everybody that grabbed those coffee and convo mugs at OakLosVegas.com. Yes, Ernie, we will be doing a watch party tomorrow, King. Yes. Me and Hammer will be covering the entire game. Salute to my brother John. I don't think so. I think as long as Jimmy's healthy, he starts. And you could be right, John. You could be right, my brother. I think Josh should let Scott Turner play call. And, That's an interesting thought, Jose. It won't happen. Josh McDaniels will never, ever give up the play calling. Ever. It's not going to happen. Too much pride, too much ego, too much power tripping. Josh McDaniels will never give up the play calling. He's looking at the winners in the league, right? He's looking at Andy Reid. He's like, Andy Reid's never going to give up play calling. He's looking at, these other guys, looking at Mike down in Miami, play calling. He's looking at all these high-powered offenses, you know what I mean? He's like, no, the head coaches are still calling those X's and O's. You know what I mean? He's looking at Sean McVay out there in LA with the Rams. He's like, I'm not giving up the play calling. It's just not going to happen. It's too much pride, too much ego. Robert, I do that on a daily, bro. Cup of coffee, energy drink, and I only do the coffee and pre-workout. I don't do energy drinks. Salute to my dog, Daniel Cap in the building. Salute to my brother Mondo, man, that coffee and combo content. Yeah, Andy has updated his offense. This is facts, OG. A great offensive mind. Let me see. But yeah, man, I mean, we pretty much talked about it all, you guys. We talked about the injury report. New England is just, they're beat to shit right now. They have so many people that are questionable. We'll do this one more time, you guys. Cody Davis out. Demario Douglas out. Matthew Judon out. Riley Reif out. Juju out. Cole Strange out. Tyrone Wheatley Jr. out. Questionable, Christian Barmore. Trent Brown. Kyle Duggar. Defensive lineman, Trey Flowers. Devon, I think it's got you. I forgot how to say his name, man. Jonathan Jones, corner. And look, they're just completely beat up out there in New England. Sean Wade, Josh Uche, Tyquan Thornton. And then with us, it's pretty simple, you guys. The only two people out are Nate Hobbs, dealing with that ankle injury, and Justin Haran, tackle, dealing with concussion. He was limited in practice, but he did not pass protocol, so he is out. There's no doubtful players on our injury list, but questionable, Jacorian Bennett. So it looks as though he may play this Sunday as well. We talked about potentially Malik Cunningham trying to help get that New England offense going, whether it's at the wide receiver position or the quarterback position. A lot of rumblings right now of him really getting active in that offense all week long, leading up to tomorrow's game. So keep an eye on Malik Cunningham, the rookie out of Louisville. We talked about, the resurgence of Thayer Munford, him playing a little tight end in those jumbo packages, him playing some right tackle. I'm liking what I'm seeing from Thayer Munford. And at some point, maybe we do have to revisit this whole Greg Van Roten out of the starting lineup and putting Illuminor at right guard, where I think there will be a lot less penalties from Illuminor from the inside of that O-line. Also, what else did we talk about? We talked about, is this defense for real? If you guys get a chance to, go to planetraiders.com. Go over there, check out Big Mike's phenomenal article where he breaks down statistically where this defense is amongst all the other teams defensively in the league right now. And also, other than that, man, nothing really else to talk about. We may be live again tonight, you guys. I'm trying to put together a Graphk and Stu show. I'm going to reach out to Big Bro, see if Stu wants to get on. I believe Waste is going to be missing tonight. Family stuff, duty calls. You already know how that is. Real quick, too, also, you guys, if you guys are in the New York area, tri-state area, New Jersey, New York, we will be at Bar Anticipation, Bar A, November 5th for the Raiders and Giants game. We'll be out there kicking it, live podcast. We're also going to be in Philadelphia that Sunday. We're going to be in New York City doing some built different stuff for the podcast. So if you guys are in the New York, New Jersey area, hit us up, man. We would love for y'all to come out and kick it with us. We're going to be shooting the Built Different podcast and the Raider stuff. So stay tuned for that. Bar A, November 5th. And I think Phil Villapiano will be out there, the legend, Raiders linebacker. So stay tuned for that. Salute to my dog, Raven Riley, in the building. And salute to my brother, man, Ty, on the $20 special, man. Let me know how this sounds. Jimmy G-string is pretty good with play action, right? Aiden O'Connell has showed that he can stretch the field, right? So you have AOC4 play first quarter and G-Stream play remind. I like it, but they won't do that. They won't do that. I think that Josh McDaniels is going to die on the hill that he is on right now, Ty. Would I love to see a little mix of AO4 out there and Jimmy G-String? Definitely. But guess what? At this point, AO4 is the emergency quarterback. You know what I mean? Until they make him QB2 and put Brian Hoyer, over there with the play, with the clipboard as QB3, I need to see AO4 be upgraded to QB2 before we can even talk about that. But I appreciate you though, brother. And yes, you're right. I like that. Good with the play action, Jimmy G. Stretch the field, Aiden. I'm cool with that. But I don't think they're gonna do that. Salute to my dog, Ty. Hey, Ty, pull up on us, bro. Bar anticipation for the Raiders and Giants. Come kick it with us, bro. Get some of that Woodson whiskey. I already had Woodson whiskey send us a care package. It's gonna be out there in New Jersey waiting on us. So pull up, man. I'm gonna have a few bottles. We're gonna be lit. We're gonna have a good time for the Raiders and Giants game at Bar Anticipation out on Jersey Shore. But yeah, man. Shit. Other than that, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Watch party tomorrow, and we may be active again tonight. Stay tuned. I wanted to do our over and under show, but I believe Waste is not going to be available tonight. But maybe we do a surprise call-in show or something like that. You never know. But stay tuned. Once again, man, love y'all. Appreciate y'all. I'm out. One.
What I'm talking about.